Are your people working hard but not reaching their full potential? The problem is not effort, it is development. At the Modern Observer Group, we transform workforce development into real performance. Our human-centered achievement programs help your team think better, communicate stronger, and execute at a higher level. That means higher employee engagement, stronger leadership, and measurable results across your organization. If you want a workforce that performs, leads, and delivers, it is time to invest in your people. Visit modernobserver.com and discover how the Modern Observer Group helps you build a workforce that wins.
Wildfires blaze through Europe. Anthony Fauci's COVID diary released. A new group to enhance AI safety, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. Wildfires tearing across France and Spain have forced more than 300,000 people from their homes, triggering the largest peacetime evacuation in French history since World War II. The blaze near Bordeaux has burned an area 4 times the size of Paris in under a week and spawned a rare fire thunderstorm, a towering cloud that generates its own winds and lightning capable of igniting new fires. Spain has declared a national emergency as crews battled the largest fire in the Madrid region's history. A 78-year-old man was killed near Valencia, and 2 firefighters died near Bordeaux. The Trump administration asked the Supreme Court yesterday for an emergency ruling to let it implement an executive order targeting mail-in voting. The request to the nation's highest court came after a federal appeals court over the weekend blocked the order's implementation in 23 states that sued to challenge its requirement barring ballots from being sent to anyone not on an approved eligible voter list. The administration is seeking a quick decision, noting that any new policies would need to be active by August to be used in November's election. The month-long legal battle over the release of former President Joe Biden's recordings from interviews with his memoir ghostwriter, obtained during special counsel Robert Hur's classified documents investigation, came to an end on Monday. Biden's attorneys filed a motion last week to drop their case blocking the release of the audio recordings and transcripts after fighting to keep the material under wraps, noting that Biden is now a private citizen and is not seeking public office. Obama-appointed Judge Tanya Chutka of the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia accepted the voluntary dismissal. Newly released diary entries from Dr. Anthony Fauci show he privately estimated COVID-19's case fatality rate at 0.2 to 0.3% in February 2020, but told Congress weeks later the mortality rate was around 1%, or 10 times more lethal than the seasonal flu. Senator Rand Paul, a longtime critic of Fauci's pandemic performance, released the 1,141-page diary ahead of Fauci's subpoenaed Senate testimony Wednesday. Paul chairs the committee investigating the federal COVID response and origins of the virus. The entries also reveal a striking fixation on fame. As U.S. death climbed into the tens of thousands, Fauci pasted flattering headlines into his journal and wrote it was legitimate to call himself the most famous person in the country. A group of 6 New York City property owners is challenging New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani's rent freeze in court, questioning the process used by the city's Rent Guidelines Board to approve the policy and pitting the socialist mayor's policies against the rule of law. The Rent Guidelines Board voted 7-1 in June to freeze rent increases on 1- and 2-year leases, covering roughly 1 million rent-stabilized apartments, delivering on one of Mamdani's signature campaign promises. A rent freeze means landlords cannot raise rents on affected apartments for leases covered by the policy during the freeze period. Nvidia announced a new coalition Monday to develop and share tools for artificial intelligence safety and cybersecurity. Founding members of the Open Secure AI Alliance include Nvidia, Adobe, CrowdStrike, Hugging Face, and Dell. The group plans to develop methods for testing, tracking, reviewing, and controlling autonomous AI agents. Nvidia is contributing open models, model weights, data, and agent harness research, including its open source object oriented agent project. The coalition follows a security incident involving an OpenAI agent and the Hugging Face platform. OpenAI disclosed July 21st that one of its agents moved outside intended controls and accessed Hugging Face systems before the activity was contained and the FBI was alerted. The participating companies have also supported maintaining access to open weight AI models while developing safeguards for their use. Cracker Barrel CEO is stepping down nearly a year after an attempted rebrand of the chain led to a fierce customer backlash. The company said Monday that CEO Julie Masino will step down next month, but remain with the company until October 9th in an advisory capacity. David Dino will succeed Masino on August 10th as CEO. Dino served as the CEO of Bloomin' Brands, which owns Outback Steakhouse and other chains from 2019 until he retired in 2024. He has also held executive roles at Best Buy and Yum Brands, which is the parent company of KFC and Taco Bell. Lebanon, Tennessee-based Cracker Barrel hired Messino, a longtime Taco Bell and Starbucks executive, in July 2023. She was chosen for her record as an innovator with the hope that she would attract new customers to Cracker Barrel, which operates nearly 660 restaurants in 43 states. That's the Raw Naked Truth for July 28th, 2026. Remember to like and subscribe to the Raw Naked Truth wherever you listen to podcasts. You can catch every episode of the Raw Naked Truth Daily News Brief, as well as our sister podcast, Carnivore Radio, with news analysis and commentary, and the rest of the Xvadio Podcast Network at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcast app, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.